You have to win the Civil War.
No.
Repeat the question that was asked.
Or not lose the Civil War. Am I being recorded? Is that the deal?
Actually, we tend to run out onto our YouTube channel from time to time. So yes,
You're
we do
not
record
on the
it,
picture.
but you're not on audio. If the question is how do we do it?
How does a state in the current United States secede from the United States?
Okay, there's a number of ways. One is through a ballot. One we tried was through a ballot initiative to change the state's constitution, which would basically allow us to then take it to the federal government for a 2/3 vote. That's one way, and that's the only path that the Constitution currently completely recognizes.
Are you talking about the state constitution or the federal constitution?
Can I please answer this? Because I think it's a really good question.
You gotta find me an exact.
I do not believe I'm going to find one for you. But maybe you can try it in a little bit later.
Okay.
Let me answer your question really quickly. Remember this, because I really do believe this, okay? The first thing is nothing in the Constitution of the United States actually says states can't secede. Point one. Point two, the Supreme Court of the United States, way back in 1875, acknowledged that a mutually voluntary approval would be sufficient.
Voluntary between who?
Well,
The
literally,
state and the
I would
federal?
contend that Congress could pass a law that would give California, and that would be the end of it. Because
But what if they don't?
if they don't, then there's the other possibility, which is the fact that a lot of American allies are very nervous about what's going on in the United States of America. And if there were a strong, I believe if there were a strong movement here, that it would persuade countries like Germany and France and Canada to consider. I might point out to you, you don't realize it, our media does not tell us a lot of things. And one thing they haven't told us is that Canada is the Prime Minister of Canada is going all over the Western Hemisphere, building another, basically containment of the United States of
I'll let you
America.
carry on with the question.
Yeah, because
You
you're
need to have
not
a-
answering
You
his
need to have a
question.
shorter answer to the question.
Well, the shorter
I
answer is
do.
how about that? A federal law
Sir, I do.
or a movement that will just demand it.
So by force.
No,
Not by force.
there are
By
no.
By popular
the federal
power.
government is not going to allow a state to secede.
Maybe the next
without-
question is, do we really know the
without-
United States is going to last?
without some kind of confrontation.
What if the United States doesn't last?
That's actually not true. We already have 13 states with movements going on within them to basically, for lack of a better term, force California out.
True.
What states can vote a state out of America.
And where is that? Is that in that right there?
It's not in there.
It's not in there. That's the point.
It's
So
not. It is allowable under constitutional law.
Right.
So
The Constitution says that any power that's not.
Oh yeah, I get the 9th and 10th Amendments. Yeah.
right, it's one of those. It's a situation where we would have to, if California were to vote in an initiative and basically then go to the federal government to request to leave through legal terms, it's like it is a big lift. It would require a change to the Constitution.
So,
But
you're talking Fifth Amendment.
If the
Right.
states vote to basically either allow California to leave or don't let the door hit you on the butt on the way out, that is legal also. That is also legal. It's like there's nothing in the Constitution that prevents you from being removed from the club. The other thing that also happens is it's a matter of basically global recognition.
That's what I meant.
The next matter is global
I
recognition.
get that ally thing.
Well,
all of that.
According to international law, if you look at like the United Nations, really it comes down to if you are recognized by a majority of nations as a nation, you are a nation.
UN.
No, but
I mean,
Germany
we have
is-
sovereignty in the United States.
Well,
right?
But
I mean, I get
the UN
war crimes and that kind
the UN and other nations sort of recognize the sovereignty to the same basis that we recognize theirs. I prefer to look at it as rules to be enforced under all circumstances unless otherwise inconvenient. it's like nations would be able to would develop trade and so forth.
Do you guys have like a position statement, like a drawer statement, or a white paper that says this is what we want to do and this is how we're going to do it?
Yeah, we have what's called known as the California Independence Institute, and
So there's like a website and there's a PDF out there. I'll go take a look at it.
and you find it on
right.
you should be able to
On
find it
here.
on any one of our
Yeah.
business cards.
I'll take a look at it. I mean, I'm curious. I'm curious about the generic idea,
Yeah.
Well, there's another.
irrespective of which state wants to do it.
There's the other question that goes to.
And the other one is, can we divide? And I think this was a couple of years ago. Divide California into 3 states, and I realize that's not going to
Legally,
fly
there's-
because of the Senate.
Well, legally there's nothing to prevent that from happening, except that both sides tend to look at that and go, "You're either gone or they don't." It's like what they don't want to do is they don't want to give California more power in the federal government.
Right. Breaking up
That's what I'm
California
saying.
is fine if you had 2 more senators, you had 4 more
Yeah.
senators.
Right. And
Which
that's
is
not
actually
gonna
part
fly
of
in the Senate.
which is part of our contention. Don't forget, is a question about democracy. I mean, the fact that California is one of the 9 states that elects only 18 U.S. senators out of 100. I mean, that's a fundamental anti-democratic aspect.
Well,
It's one of the,
I'm not in favor of pure democracy. I'm in favor of a democratic republic.
a democratic republic would be a government that represents the people of the country, right? So,
Not direct. Well,
I mean, you know, as I do, the long list of laws and policies and things that the majority of the American people support. Both parties, members of both parties support, which simply don't go anywhere in Congress because, and part of it is, I mean, hardly which, Donald Trump is president when he should have been convicted. Because,
I don't agree with you on that one either.
Yeah, but you know what? Even on the things we don't agree on, at least we're here talking.
right.
Say again.
At least we're here talking.
Oh yeah.
And that's better.
Heck yeah.
That's better than what's happening in a lot
And
of
we
America
wanted to
today.
hear your
Yeah.
opinion. But I mean, like 57% of Californians support the removal of Donald Trump, which I was surprised to read. That was before.
Well, California. Yeah, I mean, those are all longer conversations.
Exactly.
Well,
I
maybe.
think California's kooky.
But my father served 20 years in the
It
service.
depends on
Kooky.
It depends on whether you like that cookie or not.
Yeah.
That's right. Right.
I agree. It's like
But my father served.
you're right. This is a weird place.
But my father
Whether or
served.
not you like it.
I'm telling you that my father served 20 years in the military, and I am really upset with what's going on with Trump and Russia, for instance, because that
That's
was like
different.
my
That's
dad's.
different.
I don't think it is important. To me, I don't see what's more important than national security. And if Trump's going to sacrifice it, I want out.
The way I look at it with that whole
I mean, that is a question you
impeachment
haven't.
thing, there was a process. They went through it. It played out. It got decided. It's done.
What I want to
Let 'em
ask
keep
is,
doing it.
do you think? How confident are you there'll be a United States of America in 2022?
That's a good question. 100% confident.
You're 100%. What if Donald
I
Trump
shouldn't say that.
refuses?
I'm never 100%.
Good
But
scientist.
It's as close to 100% as I can think.
What if Donald Trump refuses to leave office, for instance?
I think there'll be a process in place that will deal with it.
The one that didn't even allow witnesses at his conviction trial, right? That process? I don't want to have an argument. I'm just curious.
That was the process, and Adam Schiff did what he was allowed to do, and Mitch McConnell did what he was allowed to do, and there were outcomes.
Yeah. So
I got to run.
I'm just
I
curious.
got a bio break.
Gotta
No,
go.
it's
Bio great.
It's a
Eat some
pleasure.
food. Nice
back,
pleasure.
though. A
Yeah.
pleasure.
You sound
Yeah.
like you want the
Likewise.
shirt and you're open-minded, so that's great.
Yeah, and if you got an XL, come back and trade, and we'll talk some
I'll see
more.
if Marcus can find you one. Maybe someone in the car. Do you think?
I'll look right now.
Okay.